What's up, everybody? I am Mongoose. You are awesome, and I have some announcements to make for the Minions before we start the episode this week. Biggest announcement being that we are losing one of the Minions. Arrg the Pirate has decided to bow out. We wish him the best. He is still going to remain a friend of the channel and a friend of mine, but he will no longer be in any of the For the Minions after this episode following this announcement. He is in it this week, but going forward, it's just going to be Mandy and I. I will try and get some guest hosts to come in occasionally and help us out. If you guys have any suggestions for guest hosts, please let me know in the comments below. Also, I think I might start streaming to YouTube instead of Twitch. I don't know. If you guys really like Twitch, then I'll keep it on Twitch, but it'll just be easier for me to do YouTube. If you don't give a fuck, let me know. If you would prefer it on Twitch, let me know, and we'll see what we can do from there. But yep, I just wanted to let you guys know what's going on. But for now, enjoy this episode of For the Minions. Hello everyone, and welcome back to For the Minions. I know it's been a little while. We skipped last week due to my debilitating migraines. But joining me, as always, this week are my co-hosts, Arrg the Pirate and Mandy Mal. Arrg the Pirate, how have you been doing?
Not too bad, Goose. Been cracking away at this animation stuff, man. It's driving me crazy. Like, I dream of colors. But it's going good. I finally came up with a title for it, and yeah, just plugging away at it, man. How about you, Mandy?
How you been?
Oh, good. Just working, living the dream.
Yeah, buddy.
So this week we're going to have as always, we're going to have the news and updates, and we're going to get into a discussion with Visionary Games about their move to a 3v3, not really a move to it, but they plan on developing a 3v3 before they do a 5v5. And then the discussion topic for this week is going to be towers, tower damage in specific. That didn't really make sense, but yeah, tower damage. So let's get into the news and updates. Let's mix it up a little bit. Let's start off with Omeda. Omeda had a huge question and answer stream with Sergeant Smokey, RGS Ace, Patrick Peony, and Fringe. And was that everybody I think they had on there?
Yeah,
I think so.
They kind of rotated through a couple of people because it was, you know, they were experiencing some difficulties there. But yeah, that was pretty much it.
I like that they were experiencing difficulties because it made me feel a little bit better about our difficulty.
Amen.
So, some of the questions and answers. So we have some of the answers here. The game flow will be like early Monolith style, like pre-version 42. So not as fast as Monolith became, but still faster than Legacy, if you get my drift.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Like, you know, that was actually my question. Because I'm super interested in, you know, to me there were three, kind of almost four very unique, different styles of Paragon. You know, if you were a Legacy player and then jumped into V42, you wouldn't even recognize the game. And so that's a big one for me. And going back to pre-V42 Monolith, the 6-card Monolith, you know, for me, that was the best feeling version of Paragon. I loved Legacy, don't get me wrong. And it was much more of a methodical, thought-out game. But I thought the game flow of the you know, early Monolith was just awesome. So I'm really happy that that's what they're going for. You know, that's what they're aiming at. I like that.
Yeah, it really was a completely different game. I remember coming from whenever they made the switch to Monolith, I lost my first 10 games in a row, and I was like, oh my god, what happened? I used to be good at this game. No, it just took some adjustment. I just had to play different than I used to.
Yeah, definitely. And I think one thing that I always tell people when they don't remember it is go look up a Legacy smash and grab from Grux compared to, you know, the smash and grab in Paragon, or you know, in Monolith. You know, it took like a second and a half to actually activate it, and it was this huge cone that was like the length of the lane. It was just really narrow. You know, and that just kind of shows you the huge difference in the two. But Okay,
Randy don't know nothing about that.
I don't know nothing about no legacy, baby.
So some other questions that the element system will be revisited after the alpha, which I think is good. The jungle will be less punishing and not require kiting in the alpha, but they do have plans on making a more difficult jungle in the future. Thank God. I hated that when Paragon turned into the jungle, just being anybody could go in there and kill the minions with no fear.
Felt like
They are not balancing from elo cap down. They are trying to balance for a good and enjoyable experience. Controller support will not be in the alpha, and currently Steam is their focus for a launch platform. So, there was a whole bunch of updates. What do you guys think?
Yeah, that was only a fraction of the questions. He got a lot of questions that were, more like kind of single person focused. Someone has a question. He answered like it was like a 2-hour stream that he just answered constantly answering questions, and those were some big ones that I kind of looked at. But if there is a video up or a vlog or whatever Steam calls them, that if you're interested, you can watch the entire thing. But every question that he answered, I really, really liked the answers. Like there was nothing that I was like, I don't like that. With other companies, I've had a mixed bag of things when they release things. But so far with Predecessor, I've enjoyed everything that he's said. Of course, that's not. We still haven't got to play the game, but their focuses are in line with what I'd like to see, at least.
Mandy, what was your takeaway? I know you watched at least the first part of it. I think you had to go.
Yeah, I was actually suffering from a headache that day, so I missed quite a bit of it. So this is my first time getting to hear the information, and I agree 100% with Pirate. Like, I haven't heard anything that makes me go like, ooh, no. Everything sounds good. I just feel like they have a really good vision, and they're doing an amazing job at executing that. And it's just, I think it's all gonna really come together really well.
Another update for Predecessor. It's no longer just Smokey streaming. Now RGS Ace is streaming some of the card development stuff. Patrick Peony is streaming as well, and I think Fringe is going to get in on it too. So that's going to be 4 different people streaming Predecessor content. So that's a lot of information. If you're looking for information on the game, there's going to be plenty out there for you. So that's good really news cool for everyone.
Yeah.
Now let's go ahead.
Okay. Well, I was just going to say that it's also a good way for I would say people to, if they're very interested in the product, they can support it through Steam donations and things like that, and support the Twitch. That's what I meant. Twitch donations, and we've already seen some incredible donations come out through that, and that I think that's just helping those guys out because right now they're developing a game for us, out of the goodness of their hearts kind of thing, and so supporting them is always good in my opinion.
Yeah, and that money goes directly towards buying servers so that there could be more people to play the game when the alpha comes up. So it doesn't go straight into Smokey's pocket. None of them are getting paid still, but yeah, that donated money does go to help the game out. So that's cool. For Ethereal, Undying Games with Ethereal, we've been in a lot of good contact with those guys. They're currently formulating marketing strategies and using social media to grow. And the one of the big things that I think might turn people off a little bit is the alpha may be pushed back to the end of spring. It's because they kind of doubled their slots for the alpha. So originally they had said tentatively November of last year, and then again tentatively in the spring. So they're not rushing themselves. They're going to try and produce a good game. Also, when communicating with Ethereal, they had a direct quote here. They said, while the hype and excitement was great when we revealed a character or role in Teaser Tuesday, the discussion was only short-lived and we had given away too much info to the public. This most definitely boosted people's morale for the game, but only for a short period of time. We were often pressured to present something amazing on Teaser Tuesday, but we want to keep the integrity of the game intact and not expose everything we have to an ever-increasing audience. With this new approach to Teaser Tuesday, we feel it will generate more of a discussion about the game, and as a result, deliver a consistent level of morale in our community. It will also allow new members to keep up with the game's development and not be bombarded with heavy information all at once. So they're changing up their Teaser Tuesday. Ethereal has a different marketing plan, it seems, than everyone else. Everyone else was pretty focused on trying to get some sort of proof of concept out, whereas Ethereal is very internal with their stuff. They do release small teasers on occasion, but they haven't released as much gameplay footage as the others. And I think this is part of it. This directly ties into kind of their they want to keep things under wraps a little bit and keep it as a surprise to the player base. So
I think regardless of what I think I would like to see, I actually do have some real feedback that, coming from, a gamer, I guess, is I think one of the reasons that the Teaser Tuesdays were not promoting, big, long conversations with people is because everything that we got, there just wasn't a whole lot there. We got the pictures of the Armadillo Man. And we got the first splash art of him moving, and he's this huge, ginormous creature, and there's guys riding on horses being attacked. And then the next week we get just kind of like a character model where he's standing still, and he's got different little shots of him, but there's just not a whole lot there that we can talk about other than going, oh wow, that looks cool. And I think that's why the conversations haven't been just exploding and everybody's talking about it, just like with I believe his name is Talos, when they released a little clip of him swirling his axe around and things like that. There were a lot of elements missing to that. You didn't have sound effects in it. There weren't there wasn't sparks like that clash of armor on armor. The minion just ragdolled and flew away. Now that might be how the minions actually perform in the game. But without some, actual visual cues and audio cues, all you can really say is, oh, wow, that was a cool attack. You didn't even have, like, the axe blurring whenever it spun around, or, where it's cutting through the wind and creating those, like, streaks type thing. So I think that's why that conversation is kind of been lacking, is because it's there's just not a whole lot of stuff to really bite onto and talk about. That's just kind of my thoughts. The cinematic trailers, to me, I'm personally just not impressed with cinematic trailers. It doesn't matter what game it is. I want to see some gameplay. And with Undying saying, hey, we don't really want to release gameplay until, we're fully ready. Until, we're close to the game, we know the alpha's coming out soon, and then we'll start releasing those big teasers. I think it's a great idea to go, hey guys, we'll update y'all and let y'all know what's going on, but we're going to put a hold on the actual teasers, and when we give you something from now on, it's going to be big. Not just this like little hint of hey, look at this little thing. I know they did talk about releasing just parts of armor, and I think that would run into the same problem as where you release the full character. There's just not a whole lot to talk about there, other than, hey, that looks cool. So that's kind of where, that's the way I'm looking at it, as I would rather wait longer and see something just absolutely awesome than to get these little bit of just art animations or whatever. I would rather just, again, see something that blows me away, because at this point, I just have not really been blown away with anything that's been released from Undying. And I know...
Mandy, any thoughts?
I do feel similar, that I think it's going to be cool to have bigger things, bigger chunks of tidbits and reveals and stuff like that. But I kind of like the slow drip of information because it makes you feel, I don't know, I don't want to go too long without hearing something, because then it's a little bit like frustrating, like what's going on. So I do like getting a little bit of information, but I totally see where they're coming from about it just doesn't keep a conversation going. So I understand why they're doing it, but yeah, I'd like to see some gameplay, but I know that's, that
Right.
they've already explained why, so.
Yeah, as much as I would love big updates all the time, I also don't want my desire for updates to slow them down in the production of the game.
True.
We all have kind of different opinions on all these games, but Ethereal for me has always been the one that I'm a little more excited about than most of the rest of them. I mean, I don't know what it is about Ethereal. I think it's just the newer art style and everything, and all the new stuff that they're adding in with that game. But I'm still very hyped for Ethereal, even with the small teeny bit of teasers that we've gotten. Can't wait for that one to come out. So,
well, I think, to me, they've already got kind of a fan base. Like you, Mongoose, you're already like, dude, I'm pumped for the game, and I think everybody that's part of their Discord and everything like that, we're excited for the game. We are going to play the game when it comes out. Regardless of the quality or quantity of the game when it comes out. Like, we're excited for it. And the little teasers that we are getting, I don't think they're encouraging or discouraging anybody, really. But I think, if they just delayed it to where they could release something a little bit more substantial when they're getting closer to actually bringing out that alpha, that will start the hype train. People will start jumping on board and going, oh yeah, I'm ready. That guy, look at that guy. And right now, again, we see these pictures and it's like, oh, okay, that looks cool, but what does he do? What? And that's where I am at the point, and again, I don't think there's anybody going, oh man, they released this art, I'm quitting the game now. I don't think that's happening. But yeah, that lasting conversation, I can see it not being there because it's just kind of a still picture. But
yep. Moving on. Speaking of still pictures, we finally got some updates from Metabuff. It was really just a series of still pictures. Not really much substance behind them. They did look fucking cool as hell, though. I mean, if anything, they definitely know how to produce some hype with their pictures in the kind of the older heroes, or I shouldn't say older heroes, but the Paragon heroes that we all know and love. So I'm sure Pirate will be scrolling those in the background. Yeah,
and there was no we didn't get any like content other than the pictures. There's no update to go along with it or anything like that. It's just still pictures, and I was kind of thinking because they almost look like pictures that you could take from when you were in spectator mode in Paragon. Like when Gideon drops his rocket, you could zoom in and like see all the particles and just the craziness. They almost look like that. But it's got me thinking, I wonder if that's actual gameplay or if it's just if it's just, hey, we drew this picture type thing.
Yeah. It's all stuff you could do with it. I could do that in the Unreal Engine for real.
Right, and so I wonder if that's the case, because again, there was no other than the pictures. That's all we got. No updates, anything like that. But they do look good. I mean,
they do look good.
They do look good. So it does.
It seems to me like they must be maybe focusing on finalizing some art styles and things like that, maybe, and that's maybe what the pictures were to represent. That's what I took away from it. And like I said before, it's just nice to have an update. Like I may not like be doing cartwheels, but it's still exciting to see progress. I think that's what excites me, is just knowing that there is progress being made. Obviously, they're working hard, and it's one thing to go, okay, I know they're working hard, but to see a little bit, at least in my opinion, I like that. So I was pretty excited for the pictures.
The other thing for Metabuff is they added a content creator channel to their Discord, where content creators can post videos and stuff. So if you're looking for content, like a centralized location for Metabuff content for core, then you can go to their Discord, check out that content creator channel. Yeah, people can post their YouTube videos or Twitch streams or whatever the hell in there, and be good to go.
Yeah. Grow some communities.
So finally, for Visionary, the big news from them is, we've already discussed it a little bit before, was that they're focusing on creating a 3v3 one-lane map first before making the 5v5 map. And yeah, I had a little interview with them, so instead of discussing that, the update here, we'll go over the interview and some of the questions we had for Visionary. As you may know from either our updates or other content creators, Visionary has decided to focus on making Phoenix Rising playable as a one-lane 3v3 before moving on to creating the more traditional 3-lane 5v5. This of course spawns a variety of questions about the new development direction. Us minions boiled our questions down to just a few in order to prevent this from becoming a full-on 45-minute community corner. So here we go. Will the heroes be balanced with 3v3 in mind? No, since our ultimate end goal is to have a 5v5 traditional MOBA with the added variable of verticality. That said, our 3v3 game mode will have a map that has vertical aspects so that our heroes are able to fully exploit their kits and or items to make plays. So it sounds like they intend to adapt the map to the heroes instead of the other way around. How long do you plan the matches to last? We'll likely be seeing matches ranging from 15 to 25 minutes. This is actually a bit longer than what I had assumed the game time goal to be. Will the item system and in-game economy lend itself to shorter matches? An increase in the rate of economy gain experience gain hasn't been considered because we don't really want to see this game mode become more of a brawler than it already may suggest, being a one-lane map and all. This is supposed to be the traditional MOBA, but with one lane instead of three. We still want to see early game trading, farming, jungling, and ganks. So this will certainly play into the game being a bit longer than the 3v3 modes of other games. Normally on a one-lane map, you would either start the game with several levels unlocked and enough gold to buy a few items, or just have significantly increased gold and XP gain. Will there be a jungle at all? If so, will there be buff camps, and what about that big kaiju looking thing you guys made? Yes, there will be jungle creep camps and buff camps. We are looking to utilize the big jungle boss as a prime boss, but no guarantees. We still have to weigh the impact that would have on such a small game. It's certainly good to know that they will have some jungling involved. It should add some depth to the game and increase the variety of viable heroes. Will the alpha be released as a 3v3 or will you attempt to create the 5v5 first? I apologize, we simply don't have the answer for this yet. That's understandable. Will the lane have the same amount of towers and minions? As of right now, this is the plan. Testing may change the amount of minions, but as for the amount of towers, I think it's pretty much set. 2 towers, 1 inhibitor, and a core. So it's pretty much a standard map with some jungle and the side lanes just kind of removed. As I've stated before, I like the new direction for Phoenix Rising. The one-lane map should allow them to focus their resources on creating something playable and serve as a stepping stone for further progression into a 3-lane 5v5. However, I don't think it needs to be. I would actually really like a one-lane 3v3 main mode, and I'm not alone in this. Take Smite for example. Yes, fuck Smite and all that, but it's the closest comparative game to Paragon that we have. In Smite, they do have a one-lane 3v3 mode, and it is in fact more popular than the standard Conquest mode. This graph was taken from an article written by Hi-Rez back in May that pertained to matchmaking. You can see that the Arena and Joust are both played more than Conquest. Yes, some of that may be due to lower queue times and other outside factors, but you can't argue that there is a place for a one-lane 3v3 MOBA, and I think Phoenix Rising could fill that spot. Okay, so for this week, the topic of discussion is tower damage, how it was in Paragon versus every other MOBA. It seems like a common theme. Paragon did a lot of things different from other MOBAs. So, Pirate, I know you have a lot to say about this.
So, yeah, you know, towers in Paragon were pretty unique. Now, I'm not a MOBA expert, but all the other MOBAs I've ever played, if you walk into the tower at the wrong time, you are guaranteed to take a hit. You know, let's say you just run into the enemy tower, there are no minions or anything, and you get targeted. You're not going to get hit instantly, but you will guaranteed take a hit. And that was not the case in Paragon. You had, there was like, let's say a 1 second, 2 second tick time where every 2 seconds a tower does damage. If you walked into the tower at the wrong time, you had a split second to actually back out, avoid that damage, and then walk back in. And, so that was definitely a unique thing in Paragon. Like I said, I'm not an expert in all MOBAs, but everyone that I've played is the other way. And that was kind of... I personally enjoyed the way Paragon did it, because, there were a ton of times that, the minion wave's coming in, and I take a step in, I'm like, oh, I'm half a second too early. Half the time you take a hit, but, at least you had an opportunity to get back out when you made that minor mistake. It also changed, like, tower fights. When you were diving a tower, if you hit somebody, let's say the tower just hit a minion, and then you have a couple of seconds to actually engage on the enemy and then get out of the tower and avoid all the tower damage. That's not the case in other MOBAs. So, it's you could say the way other MOBAs discourage tower diving is, they do that, but, I would say I got tower dove much less in Paragon than I do in, like, something like Smite. You get tower dove all the time in Smite. You get tower dove at, like, 3-4 minutes into the game sometimes. So, really, I've never really saw it as a bad thing the way Paragon did it, and now that I have a little bit more experience in other MOBAs, I prefer the other system. What about y'all? What do you think?
Yeah, I was going to say, Mandy, with you being a Sparrow player, Sparrow had no escape. You had to rely on your tower to back you up a little more than the other carries. So, how do you feel about the tower damage in Paragon?
I like the idea. Now, like I've said previously, I don't have a ton of other MOBA experience, but I like the idea of you getting punished if you set foot in that tower area without there being minions with you. Like, I totally understand, though, what Pirate was saying about, if you step in like a half second too early when you're waiting on your wave or whatever, or if you're just kind of focused on something else and you maybe step inside for a little bit. I get that. That's going to happen. And yeah, that sucks if you take some damage doing that. But I don't know. I like the idea of if you set foot in there, you're going to take some damage for it. And maybe it doesn't have to be a ton of damage, but it's going to, give you a little poke, make you think, make you pay attention.
So I like that idea too. I think if you set foot in the tower range while the tower is off cooldown and a tower shot targets you, it should follow you no matter where you go.
Yeah.
Like you should get shot by that tower. The other difference with Paragon, well, it's not really a difference with Paragon. It was something Paragon had and then took away, was multiplicative damage from the towers. Like, the second tower shot you took was stronger than the first,
right,
and then the third was even stronger. I really liked that. That really punished people for if they tower dove incorrectly, while rewarding people for using the tower to their advantage. So I would really like to see that come back. As far as I know, none of the games are going to do that as of yet.
Well, Core did say that they were adding that back.
Oh, did they? Okay.
They did say that. And I don't have a... tower diving is a fundamental part of the game.
Right. You're not going to eliminate it.
The towers are not safe places. You almost have to think of the tower as, an ally, not a safe zone. And so again, I don't have a problem with tower diving. And I think we'll see a big change with tower dives if we don't see the green buff come back. The green buff was tower dive. It gave you a free kill when you tower dove, because the tower would blow up the green buff and kill the person you're attacking. Yeah. It was insane on, like, Chimera. Chimera definitely got a kill at 3 minutes into the game. And, it really... I think that is a... It's just a different style. I like you were saying, Mongoose, where I don't have a problem where... If you're in the tower and the tower is targeting you, you 100% take at least one hit. I don't have a problem with that. Or you know, you can't run away from the shot. It's just got endless range. I don't have a problem with that. But you know, giving the tower an actual target, you know, it's got a 1 second damage shot or whatever. You know, I think that was okay. But again, if you run out of the tower, you know, Wukong, I think Wukong was probably the worst one because, you know, he could fly out of the tower, you know, and he just avoid a ton of damage. Because he was so quick and everything, and he didn't even need minions. He could just get in there, beat up the tower up, and if someone showed up, he could just run away. And yeah, I would definitely like to see towers have endless range once they do initiate that attack. But as far as if you get targeted, you're guaranteed damage, you know, I was okay with the way Paragon did it.
I don't know how they would solve that, though. I don't know if they could make the tower shot be a projectile instead of kind of hit scan right now.
Right, and you know, I think especially with the way Smokey's doing his towers, where they're that legacy style, which you'll be new to, Mandy. The tower size is like, you know, 2.5 times the monolith size. Like it was humongous, and you know, so you might accidentally like hit the enemy or something like that, and you're going to definitely take 2 shots running out of the tower. There's just I mean, it's huge, and so you know, you're by guaranteeing that hit, you're taking a 3rd shot. So you know, it's going to change the time that you can actually stay in the tower significantly. You know, if as y'all remember, the legacy towers used to hit you like a truck at lower levels. Like it just straight up destroyed you. And then I don't know. I really did enjoy the way Paragon did towers in both Monolith and Legacy. You know, the turrets were kind of weird where you could clip through them and things like that. But I definitely did enjoy the way the towers were. Especially with that big giant laser beam notification that, hey, you've got a laser, you know, you've got a red dot on your forehead. You're about to get hit. You know, I did enjoy that. I thought it was good.
As long as they can find a way to make the reward have risk. I mean, it's risk versus reward whenever you tower dive. You're taking a huge risk by diving under the enemy tower, and the reward is that you get a kill.
Right.
But I think, especially in the later stages of Paragon, it wasn't that big of a risk.
No.
Tower just kind of tickled you after like level 5.
Which I mean, most MOBAs are like that, though. You know, like you know, in Smite, if you're built tanky, you can just walk into a tower with no minions, even if the enemy minions are coming down, and just tank it and let your team destroy it. Like
if you're built tanky,
right? And you know, I've always it's going to be super unpopular. But I've always thought Paragon's towers were more threatening than Smite's. You know, sure, at the beginning of the game, the towers hit you hard. But they did that in Paragon too. Later, the late game, I felt the towers had more of an impact on the team than Smite towers do. At, you know, Paragon towers at level 15 hit harder than Smite towers at level 20, in my opinion. And, you know, you couldn't... You know, until we got out of Legacy, you know, and Black Buff and all that other nonsense, you know, you couldn't just walk into a tower and destroy it. You know, with the protections that it got, things like that, you had to at least get a minion in there to be able to take that tower out. And I always enjoyed that. You know, being able to just shove. You know, there's been several games in Smite where, you know, we'll be in mid lane and we'll just tank the T1 tower and then tank the Phoenix and, you know, just march down the lane because we can. And I don't like that. I definitely would rather the towers be more of an objective that requires, you know, team focus and things like that. Not just, hey, I've got the right items on, I can walk in there and deal with it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, in my opinion, makes a more fun game, you know?
Right.
Okay, I think that's about it for our topic of discussion, yeah?
Yeah.
Think so?
Talked to the
Hey, we haven't really been getting a lot of ideas from the community. If you guys do have some ideas for any of these games, please let us know, and we will discuss them in this particular section. We just haven't had a lot lately, so we're just not going to discuss any right now. So let's move on to plugs. Mandy, any videos you got coming out soon?
Well, I recorded today and none of it saved, so not as soon as I'd like.
That's always fun.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. So, but yes, I will have some more Cheapskate Gamer coming out.
Hey.
Hopefully very soon.
That's awesome. I really that's such a cool thing. I tried to do it a long time ago, and I just the headaches. But that's so cool. Well, I was doing the daily videos and everything like that.
Yeah,
So.
no, I'm coming out daily.
But you got plugs, Mongoose?
Paragon Blues.
Paragon Blues, yeah, buddy.
Gonna keep them up.
Yep.
Good deal.
They're good. I love them.
Pirate, anything?
I'm just working on animations. I guess I kind of shamelessly plugged myself at the beginning, but
that's okay. Do it again.
I'll probably throw a little teaser in there. I finally named it. We're gonna call it. I'm gonna call it a Gourmet Cry, and I'll just throw the intro of it up. There's no sound or anything like that. I still have a ton to do, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. If anybody wants to come and help me, feel free. There's so much art, man.
I got my hands full of my own stuff.
But yeah, I'm plugging away at it. We'll have it out soon. Rift, Rift is going to be the main character, and he's now going to have a little sidekick. That's just like this annoying guy that bugs everybody. And
everybody needs an annoying sidekick.
Yeah, everybody's got to have an annoying sidekick. So, I'm definitely making progress on it. It's just, man, I've released a handful of things, through Discord and going, hey, people, check this out. And then, like, the next day I'm like, no, throw it away, start over.
Oh, no.
But yeah, I've changed it.
Shameless plug. Come hang out with us. Join the For the Minion Discord.
Yeah. I'll leave a link and maybe put the little Murdoch laser up there. But definitely come check out the For the Minions Discord.
Yeah, come say hi.
Yeah, it's just a cool place for us gamers to hang out.
All right, folks, if you're watching this as the video, it's about to end. If you're watching it as the premiere, it's about to end. Hopefully it'll be at the end this time. Fucking premieres have been kicking my ass. But if you're watching on the Twitch, we're going to transition over to the live portion. So we're going to hang out with you guys, probably drink some beers. That's kind of been the tradition we've started. I don't know why. And
Get your beers ready.
Yeah, we're going to hang out and have a good time. So so long, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
See ya.
Bye.
Mango.